What's going on? Dr. Gonzo Boogie here again, back for another update video, and this is going to be a really small, quick little update video. I don't have too much to show. I got a Blu-ray, nice little stack of DVDs, and a couple random things at the end that I wanted to show you guys. I got a couple figure collectible things, and also a really cool old school video game that I picked up. And most of this stuff I picked up last week, and a couple of the things I picked up over the weekend too. So about to get going and show you guys what I got. First off, I'll start off with the one Blu-ray that I picked up. I actually picked this one up at a Stop and Shop grocery store. I don't know if you guys have that one around you, but I know that's a pretty big grocery store chain around here. And I always check out what they have on DVD, and of course right here I'm showing The Last House on the Left. The original Wes Craven classic. Picked this one up at Stop and Shop for $4, which I thought was a great deal. Brand new on Blu-ray. They had a couple other interesting Blu-rays there too, like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 and Carrie. So I actually might stop back in there and check out what else they have, and maybe pick up that Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 Blu-ray for $4. I thought this was a really good price. I actually wanted to pick this one up on DVD a while ago. I have the older MGM DVD of it, but ever since this newer one came out and said it was the unrated version, I always wanted to pick it up to see if it's any different than the older DVD release. I don't know, maybe you guys can let me know in the comments if the older version of the DVD isn't the unrated version, because if this has some stuff that was cut out of the older version, that would definitely be cool. So let me know in the comments if you guys know anything about that. If this version of the movie has any extended gore scenes or violent scenes or anything that is different than the older DVD release, because I always wondered about that since it says unrated on it. So who knows? But I love this movie, one of my favorite Wes Craven movies. I would say this and The Hills Have Eyes are probably my two favorite movies from him, along with Nightmare on Elm Street, of course, one of his best. Just a really classic here, real great classic, and glad to get this one on Blu-ray. Last House on the Left. Alright, next up I have a little stack of DVDs here. This one I picked up at FYE, brand new. This is the Monster Squad. This is the Olive Films release of this, and I love Monster Squad. I actually didn't have this on DVD right now until I picked this one up. So I'm glad to add this one to my collection finally. But I used to have the older 2-disc DVD of it years ago, and it's a really, really fun movie, kind of like The Goonies with monsters a little bit, I guess. My favorite line from this movie is Wolfman's got nards, which if you've seen that, you know what I'm talking about there, I guess. But classic stuff here. Really cool cover on this, really fun 80s movie. This has all the classic monsters in it. You got the sea creature based off Creature from the Black Lagoon type thing. You got the Wolfman. You got Dracula, the Mummy, and the Frankenstein monster. And this is just a really, really fun, awesome movie. If you guys have never seen this, definitely check out the trailer and then pick this one up because it's classic. The back of that looks like. Really cool stuff here, and I'll have to pick up some more of these releases by Olive Films. I have another one of their DVDs. It's a Boris Karloff movie called Cauldron of Blood, and that one was pretty interesting too. That was a kind of a weird movie. One of Boris Karloff's later movies, if I remember. Still pretty good stuff. Monster Squad, Olive Films release. And then next up, these last 3 DVDs I have here. I actually picked these up at a thrift store. And I was really surprised by the amount of awesome DVDs they had in there. If I had a little bit more money on me, I probably would have picked up a few more things. But I ended up just picking up 3 of the DVDs they had there. But that's why you never know what you'll find when you go to a thrift store. But this thrift store was stocked with like mostly all brand new DVDs. And a lot of them were horror movies, so I was really excited about that. First off, I picked up When a Stranger Calls. This is the old school DVD release of this. Kind of hard to find out of all the DVD releases of this. This is the toughest one to come by. And this is a late 70s kind of like slasher thriller type movie. And I thought this was pretty good. I thought that the beginning of this movie was the best part. The beginning of this movie is is classic with the babysitters at the house. She's getting, phone calls from some crazy guy every like 15 minutes telling her to check on the kids. And, the police try to trace the call. They find out that the call is coming from the house, which Black Christmas already did, and Black Christmas did it better. But this movie did a pretty good job with that, too. And then, it goes, and then that's basically where the first half of the movie ends, with the killer getting caught at the beginning of the movie and the babysitter kind of getting away. But I thought the beginning of this movie was really well done. It had a very cool, hip vibe to it. It didn't seem dated at all, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I thought it was really cool, almost the way they were like making the phone every time it rang seemed scary and suspenseful. It was really well done. Kind of reminded me of like Jaws with a phone. They were doing a good job with that. And I would say the second half of the movie was kind of just your regular thriller movie with a cop running around the city looking for a serial killer. I actually thought it was kind of typical and boring and nothing too original there. So with this movie, I thought that the first half was a lot better than the second or the middle part, but the ending of this was pretty good too. So that kind of made up for the I would say the less interesting middle half of this movie. But the beginning was really good. When a Stranger Calls, decent semi-classic here. Pretty good movie. Then next up here, I actually picked up at that same pawn shop. I got these Midnight Movie DVD releases. These were brand new, so they had a few more there, but I ended up picking these ones because some of the other ones that they had, I already had on DVD. This is I Bury the Living. Actually, used to have like a cheapo public domain release of this movie, and I remember it was pretty good. I remember checking it out. It was a decent classic horror movie. And then this is The People That Time Forgot. Used to have this one on a 4-pack that also came with Last Man on Earth and the Land That Time Forgot, something like that. I can't remember, but I thought this was pretty cool. And I would say these single copies of the Midnight Movies I think are a little bit tougher to come by than the 2-packs or the 4-packs. So whenever I see these, I usually just try to pick them up for that reason alone. So I thought these were pretty cool. And for a couple bucks at a thrift store brand new, I definitely thought it was worth it. Let me know if any of you guys have seen The People That Time Forgot. Looks like a fun movie, some dinosaurs and cave people in it, so not sure what to think about that one. But that's that for the DVDs and movies. But like I mentioned, I picked up a few collectible figure things and also a video game. So I'm going to start off with the video game, actually. I got this at the same thrift store that I got all those DVDs at. And they had a ton of cool stuff there that day. And I was actually looking through a box of Blu-rays they had. And in the box, they had some old Nintendo games in there. And I was looking through what they had. And when I came across this one, I felt like I had to pick it up. This actually came in the little case thing. And this is Fester's Quest. This is the old school Nintendo game for the first Nintendo Entertainment System from back in the day. I used to have it when I was a little kid. I actually do not have the old school Nintendo system now, so I can't play this game, but I would love to one day pick another one up. So if I ever see any cool old school games, I always just buy them anyway. And actually the main reason I picked this one up is actually, I don't know if you guys have ever checked it out, but there's a web series on YouTube that's been going on for a while called The Angry Video Game Nerd. It's actually one of my favorite things on the internet to watch. I'm a big fan of the creator of the series. He also does horror movies and a bunch of other type of videos, horror movie reviews, and everything. You can watch them all off cinemassacre.com. But he's one of my favorite YouTubers, and one of the main reasons that I love going on YouTube and started to go on YouTube was because of the Angry Video Game Nerd videos and the other videos that he puts out. He's just one of my favorite content providers on YouTube and on the internet. He just does a great job. And one of his classic videos from the first season of his show is the Fester's Quest episode where he dresses up like all the members of the Addams family. It's a really, really funny episode of his show. And so one of the main reasons I picked this game up was actually for the Angry Video Game Nerd episode. I just loved the episode so much that I felt like I had to get the game. Also, the first video I ever seen from him was his Friday the 13th one, and I would love to pick up the Friday the 13th Nintendo game. That's probably the one on the tippity top of my list for video games I want to own. But really cool stuff here. Fester's Quest. From his review, this game is really difficult and a really annoying game, but still, you gotta love that cover artwork. Great stuff there. Fester's Quest, old school Nintendo game. Got the manual, the booklet for it too, and it came in the case. And I only paid like $4 or $5 for this, so pretty good deal. And last for this video, I'll show you guys the two figure things I picked up. First off, I finally went around and picked up one of these little Funko things. I'm actually not too big into them, but I picked this one up because it was Jason. And the main reason I picked this one up was I was actually buying one of these for a friend of mine for Christmas. And they had a deal at FYE where you buy one, you get one half off. So I grabbed the Jason one for myself, half off. And like I mentioned, I'm not the biggest fan of these. I think these are a fad, kind of like Beanie Babies, that it's just going to die out after a couple of years, and you're not going to be able to make any money off of these at all. But I could be wrong about that. And also, I kind of find the design on these a little bit boring, especially some of the regular sized ones. Just I feel like they could do more with the sculpt on them, even though I know they're going for that simplistic design where they all kind of look the same, but for some reason I kind of like get bored of that. Some of these I think are cool, and some of them not so much. Let me know what you guys think about the Funko Pop figures and stuff like that that are everywhere right now, and tell me what you guys think, if that's just another fad or if that's something that's going to last for a while. But this Jason one is a keychain, and I thought it was pretty cool. I'd say out of all the Funko stuff that's coming out right now, my favorite stuff is probably the reaction figures, the ones that are made to look like, old school, 3-inch figures with not too much detail on them. I think those are probably the coolest thing they're putting out right now. But this was pretty cool too. Little Jason, can't go wrong with little tiny Jason Voorhees. Alright, and then last for this video, actually at Walmart I picked up a wrestling figure, which was a huge throwback to me because I haven't bought a wrestling figure in like 10, 12 years, maybe even more than that. Back when I was a little kid, wrestling was probably one of my favorite things in the world. Wrestling and horror movies. Now it's just horror movies. I don't really watch wrestling anymore. I check it out time to time, but the Attitude Era with Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock from when I was younger is just, in my opinion, the best it's ever going to get. And I'm so far behind on what's going now that if I try to watch it, I don't even know who anybody is. But I picked this up because it was actually one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. And this one I actually opened. I usually never open figures. I haven't opened up one of my action figures in so long. I just like to keep them in the box and display them that way. But for some reason, this figure I wanted to open, kind of to give me a nostalgic throwback to when I was younger, collecting the wrestling figures. And also I wanted to display this one outside the box, mostly because it has a removable mask, and I'm a sucker for removable masks. Ever since I was a little kid, I loved action figures that have helmets, masks, or switch heads, anything around that line. I just really loved that. And the figure that I'm talking about here is actually of Mankind, my all-time favorite wrestler ever. He was played by Mick Foley, who also did a couple other wrestlers. He did Dude Love and Cactus Jack. Just one of the all-time greatest wrestlers ever. And back in the Attitude Era, he had some of the best matches ever, getting thrown off the top of the Hell in the Cell, the Rock and Sock Connection. Just great, great, great stuff. And I just could not pass on this figure when I saw it at Walmart. There's a close-up of it. Just an awesome figure. If you guys know anything about Mankind or WWF or anything, just a really, really cool action figure here. So glad to pick this one up. This is what the box for it looked like. The back here. Mankind. Got some other wrestlers on here. Triple H, I do remember him. Chris Jericho. I actually remember when he debuted in the WWF. The Miz, have no idea who that is. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, I think he's a classic wrestler actually from before my time, before the 90s when I was watching, than Daniel Bryan. He's one of the newer wrestlers that I actually do know his name because I think he's one of the more popular ones from nowadays. But not sure because I don't really watch wrestling too much anymore. But used to love it when I was a kid. And Mankind, probably my all-time favorite wrestler. And I'll show you guys what he looks like with the mask off, which I just think is cool. One of the main reasons I picked up this figure. Really cool, classic Mick Foley face, missing his teeth there because he was just one of the all-time best hardcore wrestlers ever. This dude got smacked in the head with a steel chair probably every day of his life for years on end. It's a great, great figure right here, and this is a little mask. Alright, so that was the update video this week. Hope you guys enjoyed it like always. If you did, give it a thumbs up or leave a comment, and I'll see you guys next time.